Welcome to Vintage Weights PGH. I'm Rob and I'm in the car coming back from a weight pickup, so if you hear clanging and banging or squeaking behind me, that's because I have a bunch of stuff wedged into the back of my Honda CR-V. In any case, I was inspired by Zach Evanesh and Jed Johnson. The first time I ever saw a video shot in the car while driving somewhere was Zach Evanesh, and then Jed Johnson has these like 31 days of Q&A that he does where he answers questions, and sometimes in the car, from his followers. So I thought, well, I'm going to be in the car for quite a long time. Might as well answer some questions. And I put out a little Ask Me Anything type post yesterday. And this is what came back. So I'm going to start out with a couple questions from It's Pez Hef, who's a nice guy. He's also in some of the Vintage Weights groups on Facebook, and I think I might have even seen you on Iron History. But the point being, you're in this Vintage Weights community, and I think you asked a couple great questions. So the first one is, what's your current Grail item? Meaning like the Holy Grail, what would I just, oh my gosh, my mind would explode if I managed to even trade or buy for it, let alone find it. My current Grail item would be Gibson weight plates. I just really love the story of Johnny Gibson. I'm working on a biographical video of him that I keep pushing back the release of because I keep finding more information that just keeps impressing me. He's a very astounding man. If you don't know much about him, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, because hopefully soon, fingers crossed, I'll have a biographical video about Johnny Gibson. But in any case, his plates have a cross hub similar to old Weeder International plates or Jacksons, and they say Gibson in this big blocky white lettering that I like. And I had a really cool opportunity when I met up with another Vintage Weights collector, Al, to take a look at his Gibson plates, and he was nice enough to let me see his Gibson set, and they are just so cool. And something that I love about them too is that the smaller plates just have an interesting quality about them. The 10-pounder had like a chunky kind of thick quality to it that I really liked. So Gibson plates, they are my Grail. He was from Phoenix, Arizona. Well, that's not where he was from, but that's where he lived most of his life, and that's where a lot of them are found. I know a couple collectors that live out that way that have some Gibson plates. Maybe someday I can trade for some Gibsons, or nice like Mike, I know you're out there. Maybe Mike can find some for me. And stranger things have happened. I found Marcy. They were Marcy, LA, Los Angeles, and I found some of those in Pittsburgh. So maybe I'll find some Gibsons in Pittsburgh or around Pittsburgh. You never know. Stranger things have happened. The second question from It's Pez Hef on Instagram is, what's something that you sold and you wish you hadn't? So that's where the title of this video comes from, Grails and Regrets. Oh, a regret. Well, let's see here. I have sold a couple things that then I kicked myself a little bit. So for example, I sold some Roundheads when I was switching over to buns and globes, and I'm still a little queasy about it. If you watch my Roundhead video, you'll see that I really enjoyed Roundheads, so I don't know. But I wouldn't say that I regret that, because fortunately I live in Pittsburgh, which isn't far from York, Pennsylvania, which means that in the future I can pick up some more Roundheads, and I might pick up a couple pair just because I like Roundheads. What can I say? I keep gravitating towards the 40-pound buns because they look like Roundheads. But something that I sold that I'm just like really kicking myself and that I don't know if I'll find anytime soon would be my 100-pound York bored out to Olympic size plates. I said that in an awkward way. Basically, York Hundos, York 100-pound plates that started their life as standards, but then by special order, York would bore them out to 2 inches, to Olympic size. I went on a selling spree recently because a couple months ago a rare opportunity came up to possibly purchase some plates and weights that were pretty expensive, and I thought, well, this is a good time to do some spring cleaning. And I started going through and I set a threshold to, okay, what would I not regret selling off? And let's sell all of that first and see if we raise enough money for the unique opportunity. I keep saying unique opportunity because I didn't get it. However, I don't regret selling any of that stuff because it kind of cleaned out my gym. It raised funds because I like to keep all the finances of my gym within itself, like its own little ecosystem financially, meaning that I don't like to spend family money on my gym. So it raised gym funds for a future opportunity that might come along when I least suspect it. It also raised gym funds for some upgrades. So like I got rid of the Rogue landmine attachment that I thought was really crappy, and I'm buying the new Clevabuilt 2.0 Android. Adroit, not Android. Adroit attachment. You can check out a video on that pretty soon on my YouTube. Make sure you subscribe. So some upgrades and things came about, but looking back on it, out of all the things that I sold, oh, those hundos. Like I really like a pair of 100-pound plates. They have a cool history that you had to special order them, and because you had to special order them, you don't see them all that often. And since they're 100-pound plates, they're not easily or cheaply shipped. Like I said about the Roundheads, I'm in a good position here in Pittsburgh to find them again at some point, but I don't know when that point is going to be. And if I had to bet, it's going to take me longer to find those again than it will to stumble on some Roundheads. Like, I don't even give Roundheads a second thought because I know I'll find them pretty easily. But oh, those bored out 100-pound plates, what was I thinking? So that's really off the top of my head the only thing I've sold that I kind of regret selling, that I wish I would have held on to. I've got to remember to turn off Waze when I record a video. Jeez, lady, you're always interrupting me. You're like my sidekick. Heading across the bridge from Ohio into West Virginia, and it's time to say thank you. I got it, Waze. I'm trying to go to Pittsburgh. I got it. Anyway, thank you so much to It's Pez Hef for the questions. I appreciate you following. I appreciate you jumping in there. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you can learn some lessons from some of my regrets. I hope you can subscribe and eventually watch the Johnny Gibson video so that you too have Gibsons as one of your grails. You should. They are a grail type of plate. And to everyone that's listening and watching, if you want to support the channel, the best way to do so is to subscribe, to like, to share, and to drop a comment. On YouTube, those comments really help the algorithm. I see a bump in views because YouTube puts it out there a little more if you drop a comment. So let me know, what are your grail items? What are you hoping to find? What have you sold that you regret selling? Let me know. Share your experiences with me because I'm not alone here. This is a community, and it's a vintage weights community because old weights, new gains.